mid road telan chodok the dungar som je ma cha pa chob dunga se ne tandi zo dun dona tari ke goju man randa te kare je se na donzan pongge shatam batre do ta donzan che bo kesa ke goju bo thola ke zo lund re do ke hete kare ke zi tanda te domi to hira tate che je do shatam bojinda undi lundi to na nga senje lunguni hena lukur nguni hegana jena je mache mbogusuna shagasuna chola korna longla korna namhila sandogrin thonrogri jenogri ndodo namhido lunyega khatar chatan telu jinjena mbasam khazi mato jesu dawn yogu man chocholema tatedu nguya ilu se jolema te yena tata ni lu se titi mombojo ndo tata ne gri tok donzante nga sandujite ndi shatan shalolund tene je damit of raduk jeyon zala zon tene yimba ta yon chupa manga no yimba ta jepen togul tene zo gan se ta sonam ku chokzo ndebu sonji ji kompon tops to zo de lundala tene zo so densen ti onki tandi kyut se de kyut se pena pitrago ji de je ka ji to zo je le zo donza kon ponggen lundi tola yo ta do zan se de nga song de sen ko to je sen je gan je tel mal ta lundi luten dan tampa zo cho ndo shundang da jena do me se ji te ten la phap yong do kandi zo so 전 tombo do seji te kanang ta ngol ngodo lupo ngodo lupu noni laba il ngodo yang ngodo zema ngodo trogo ngodo komba ngodo tandi zo to he tong nanjo pato so nyanglan pato so de gam jendo tandi zo do seji ta go so lupu non nga seji shuro ko yoraba konchon lang ngodo non lang ngodo sholang ngodo kani yons 도 세지 나세 나이 루포 nga 센두진가 딱 가난 거 찌다 때 공용 토그 말이 루세지 차히 담부지레디들 잼모제 근데 독던 점바디 치후치는 니 고지질 루포진의 촉다르니 촉다운데 촉파치 핀즈게 와이롱 거서 저리저 촉후치를 디 핀즈게 하데 추질 때가서 촉 현현안가선 통데 don't understand it. Don't need to. No look chahi something. This is sabon that in the way. Yana that there is the ludo saying talk carhatra. Talk yamban rates. That is those on and Amazon. They trouble you. You might kahi charity the tramark, Tanakana do. They know you and Nanjo, but ni lude jet, lava moya the jet, manam pongo, jets had. Patches over it. The dark cool tipuna lupori did rude drones yolima chobusuna male son can so according loving at jets that so never chill that way of chop me bepacho comba way of chop that tanga lupotan to same meals or your marundo jendo yolimalit yen the sang to tandizo got some cheese dot met sage the dot sage mundu sound 롱롱 휴휴치기나 티 담에 그 톡을 야가나 때는 거 제가 이제 알루지선다 손지고 공통제나 뜻도 톱이용서 뜻도 도도는 좀 봐대 donzon 휴침보 요나 첸들라 지노 트롱노 나 슈히 가초마 열 다도 말람 그 노니나고 티 donzon 때 요차데 요티 농연단다 직 동서 말람치니 진노 히에티 다체 온레니 녜용레니 찐룰레니 던룰레니 까마 쇼룰레니 다티 갑탄 진노 상지 마차파자 지용의 치 말람레 아 초요마 도트 마존지나 존드소 동아히 다티 노겐치 바르도 갑시나 chabo capsule sapa pardu capsule te hamugo chade tandije ta donjang ka chawa te ke gu donjang chawa che sa te lug to ni che lug to tandije ke goch changel tem ta chelin sango ta jense mem chi mare son mare donjang te shuk che se chena te sam pi duk na donzan te chesi te tsamjik te no doktan zamba te me tani re sana chiri jodon tsam la nga chu lundala tani nasa zedundama naso na domi topu shirap jik te zona te su nyam selani hiwa thoma me poko li mogge wandama naso so de zona te chiri jodo jik ta nga chagina zona pe soyum pe zona pe mepa zoy te lula tani geba so sonam tso so pa yong se jwa chiri jodo dik ba de pa tsoma me muzo tandi zo to zo de che ji ku lu tandi re ta che na jensen chor jana sonam ko tso zong sonam ko tso zo go na karu lu wo che yo ga zo ko pentok che tor ya ta ji re jodo lu te che cha du ya la chupa ma la ngang to tandi zo te che de che jin yong karu ngi lu pon de drama thale ko cho sang ha so nan chö ga zo ko ti cha pentok sang go to ma yung ni pa la kambo yo na chu nam tham che jen re do re jeri jodo ti no ni go jen la ro li do re ti no ni go jeri jodo sen la ro li do sen go kan de yer na jodo sen go to ni lun de ni ya kun chu lan chu na namba to hwa ta hi to ji ja su na da rumbu chen ri ndam na so dan da re ro ji ko ma lam je chu pa pu na de ge jeri jodo chu pa te no tani ma nga hong la so lun de te ona si go pa la si ku ndo pa la ku ni mal ndo pa la za kumba gona chu gona ta tham che la rong la ndo pa yang te kan di go sun zu tro ro re sha te tsoma njern ro wa sho sa ti mi pa zo yo na yimba yong tani ren do ta ge je ze den chu yang ge yer de sha ga na tani so nam ko tso zon do 더그 제르도 쭉 세지도 추치라 돈 체바 냠len 두두 단디조 제르도 지기 믹서 그지 쭉 순다지나 지데 그 냠len다리 플라고 난주리 미전라 감보요 그레 단디조도 딱 혼루 공존람 캬론다 쳇네 미샤르세 단디조 촌도리 마도 돈보쭉 ngami 냠len 시에마지 옛나 마치 라드ronko 온지혀 tene 제르도 쭈ndala 제르도 di traka tandizo kyo kchik center segananda traka korsanchi namjen daji nan zambarung ru tosola yole tosor ji hyo tene yomana jerezo khatsundi non somba non yang shiraju parot hyambo domi topa sejite domi sejite kandi ring sa ten paya jizo lama ji kandan tene kyo te nyanglan jizo na go ji pen topo ndanda tene jere je jina jyo te nyam he unde tan nyam hongse kido charche se chenji ni tande zo yongjo le tan te do choma te ona go nyam so hongse china la dong de ge nyam dong to wa ji ka zo to ji de yananda to me de yananda to so gari na shu su tong che da man chu che sa ma ta tong ma ta ya ngin chu ma ta mi yin ma ta na ngari se yang chuan na quan chu san la hiap san ro ni yin ro ro chi sen ma mang te ma ngan hong la che ri do ri ru la yim bar tong de tna sha san do ma so so chong tong ro ma tong so je so de so da chu zo ma ta na ngi lu pon de la chu ko che le ma to ngi yim ma sha na nga yin se nga che ka ke la tan di se chen ti no yin zo ga de tene che zo de chu ti nyong le de ko chu na yin rinpo la gam jip mo gu pa jig lam song ji de yi cha kyo so na de yi cha je cha de song ji cha le to ji de do to me de ga ru do do nya hi de se te yo nya hi de se ji te nga song de te la se de ji ra nga song de te je cha te song ji cha za ma ma de ge mon de sho de mi de se te te da ga po ke zo cha so yong yin jin ya ka zo. So now I'm just to say in English, okay? Tibetan language is finished. Exhausted. Now it's in English, I say this, please to generate bodhicitta. And then it's like with your kindness or the compassion kindness, we are studying this word of my perfect teacher. And it has 3 classification. and the outer preliminary practice, inner preliminary practice, and then it's like the profound introduction part, which is the Poa transference. And now we are at the first preliminary practice is finished, and now we are in a preliminary practice. Itself has 6 chapters. We are in the 5th chapter, which is the KUSALI'S accumulation, like destroying 4 demons. One is like a single stroke, destroying or the cut. Here is the very important, like kind of the slangly to talk. We say it's like, what are you going to cut? Which kind of you are going to use a knife? If you cut this piece of the meat or food, if you cut, and which kind of reason why you cut? And after you cut this piece of your food or meat, where you are, to kind of the contribute. And then you say it's like, I want to cut the piece of the meat, which is the ego clinging. It's like kind of the holding I. This is the worst thing. And that one is, I'm all the time holding this piece of the meat, but it is not delicious, but I cannot throw out. It is a smelling, and according to this, I have a lot of problems. And the problem is like kind of the, if I put the container of the in the samsara, and the defect of the samsaric smell is brought by this piece of the meat, which is the I, ego, oriented or ego clinging. To all the time is holding, like kind of dears it, my piece of the meat. And someone say, why you are too much keep it's smelling ugly, it's some dirty smell of the birth or the old age, sickness, death. Yes, I need to hold because I love it. I need to. Now we need to cut this one. You cut to destroy it better. But if you want to cut or destroy this piece of the meat of the I, ego clinging, any kind of knife, it cannot cut. You need a sharp, you need a very strong knife. That is the non-self of the ego. And that is like kind of the dualistic normally, like a kind of the non-conceptual, like kind of the egolessness. Or you can to say it's the non-conceptual of the wisdom. And that you need, this knife, you should to cut. And this piece of the ego clingings, and you do like this, you cutting like this, through like kind of the way of to cutting, it is you call the action of the merit and wisdom. And combine this, you working. Maybe you can to say it's like kind of the 5 wisdoms and 5 kind of the methods, skillful. 10 persons work together using the single stroke of the knife, which is the non-self or the non-conceptual wisdoms. And that you do like this works, then you are doing something. Your doings is like we call the perfect activity of the merit and wisdoms. And through this, and then you can to make clean. But also, like a kind of the according to this piece of the meat or the food, which is ego. This means, okay, now I have ego clean, ego, I. And then is someone's ask to you, what is the yourself? You all the time say, I. Where is the your eyes? You choose to point out, finger yourself to say, that is I am. But this is not you. And you are the whole entire of the body. We are holding eyes. But then it's like in the body, like kind of holding eye, and you are like kind of the grasping of that eye. But this body is not really you. It is make funny, We are like kind of this part, something fell out, and then it's there. Maybe it's you cannot say I. I analyzed once I was on the monastery, and one doctor, Rinpoche, he took a lot of blood from me because I have very high blood, I don't know. Almost at 2-3 liters. And after, I have funny things. Their homeless dog, I gifted. And this dog is like eats it or the drink the very delicious way. First time I thought, this is my blood. But you already separated. You look at, you say, it's my blood. You can keep few days. One day after, how much smell? Impossible to keep. And like this, some is, I remember, it's like some in yogis, you destroying the self-clingings. And like kind of, they say, maybe someone's to cut my right arm to put there. After it's like I am here, but my right arm's over there. And then if someone say, this is your arm. You should to keep. Maybe you can to put very good cotton to few days smell. You cannot to say my arm. And then you do all the cut it. Then it's finally, where is your mind is cannot cut. But we can to look finally when we are died. Anyway, we cannot stop, we cannot hold, we cannot to continue holding this body. One day it's like a body kick out, as I said yesterday. Then it's maybe this body is maybe going to on the earth, eating birds or fish or burn. That moment my body don't burn, don't put on the ground, it's useless. Even we cannot enter inside consciousness. Like this, but now is we can to cut, to clinging. I, my. Then why you do this? Which kind of purpose? And if you like kind of the to cutting through your this ego clingings, maybe lesser dressed. I don't know, dressed or anxiety and sufferings. For example, it's like kind of too much holding I, my bodies, and then coding this body is, yesterday, like I said, the coding the Sutta perspective for demons. We call the demon of the forms. This is a based demon. Why you call a demon form? Your form or environment or sentient being. It doesn't matter our form of the body. Because demon is coding this body, and then it's too much clingings. We have the suffering of the birth, old age, sickness, death, so on. And then this body itself has so fragile, so sensitive, that body needs so much. These externally 5 desirables, body needed. Body is all the time telling to mind, run, collect form, collect sound, collect food, collect good, or collect your family, destroy your enemy. So much body ordered, the mind is a turmoil and sufferance. Actually, it's like maybe body is not, but it is like kind of too much holding, like mind is holding like this. And I make joke, like kind of, there was one couple, and the husband was so much attached to the wife, and he's all the time holding any movement as like too much, and then it's like wife say, so much suffered. What are you doing? You doing such funny things. It's like this. I'm uncomfortable, suffering. Because I love so much you, and I need to, maybe if I'm losing you something problems. There's so much. Maybe that is like according to his desire or according to like clinging. And then others is not comfortable. Then it's like, says like, you don't need to be much suffering. You release a little bit kind of the clinging. Maybe you are happy, I'm happy. Maybe body to saying too much mind is holding, attached. That is also maybe body itself is tired and more sick, more problems. And therefore, it's lesser ego clinging, lesser problems. And maybe it is like we through the mentally to use our body. Maybe body sometimes is a problem. There is sickness or some different the negative circumstances. But in the mentally, if you use, this is a kind of purification, and maybe make accumulation according to your body like this. And therefore, the mind is to really to need to cut, like kind of the clingings. Maybe our says like everything is problems is come from, it's the bodies? No. And Machiladun, yes, that is, or they said is like, of course, a tangible demon, intangible demon, but really demon is a demon of the son of the God and demon of the egos. All the demons actually is included ego. If you are destroyed the demon of the ego, and then is the disappeared demon of the like form, like body, the demon of the death, demon of the like the son of the God. These things is disappeared, and therefore we say it's like we wanted to cut the ego clinging or the ego of piece of this meat or the food. What I'm saying is like this. Actually, body is really you cut or not. Or someone says like, oh, I don't want to cut my body because I love my body. You love your body, that is truth, but you have ego inside. When you say I is like holding in this body, but that is not really you. It's like kind of you borrowed, landed, I don't know, from something else. And finally, you cannot to holding. And then now, very important to analyze, to establish the egolessness and also non-conceptual wisdoms. This is the very important to have perfect knife, the wisdom. And this to cut, then after what you do, generally speaking, yesterday we say, I'm offering to my body. I make generosity my body. Generally, normal you say it's like kind of our bodies, like to give to the tree, to put the front of the Buddha, and Buddhists have a very smelling, dirty. Who can to accept? Why you offered to this? But through the mentally, you like kind of the purified your body. You emanate or like kind of the visualize your body is transformed into the so auspicious things, like a kind of all the good things, like 8 auspicious, like this kind of whatever, like a gold, silver, jewel, these things to our bodies become. Then you offered, you like kind of make an accumulation merit. And you generally, your bodies give to the sentient beings who can accept. Maybe it's if you are alive, okay, I give you my body, and okay, you can't work with me. You okay, you can't clean. What you and when we take the piece of the one is our body to give others who want it, but we are through the mentally imagined, and I'm offering like giving my body to whoever received this piece of my body is transformed. Maybe become the whoever need food, not normal food, delicious food, drink things, clothes, shelter, whatever medicine, whatever the necessities, through your visualization, through your views, whoever receive your body is transformed like this. Then it's like, if you do like this, then your body is become the perfect source, excellent source, through your mental. Generally speaking, all the phenomena depends the circumstances, but it depends entirely mind, and mind is like positive mind, positive, everything's positive. Therefore, through the mentally like this, if you do like this, as I said yesterday, using the non-conceptual wisdom thought, and to cut this ego clinging, the piece of the food, and offering to the 3 jewels, generosity, all the 6 realms, whoever, through these activities, and to making the 2 accumulations, then is the really you have a purpose, and 2 accumulation merit is automatic, easy, profound, deep, like this. And generally here is the quoting the word of my perfect teacher, and we are like continue to studying like this. When normally quoting the authentic practice, Jyot practice, this like the KUSALI'S accumulation practice, more authentic tradition. And in that perspective, you should to need to receive Mati Ladun's empowerment, and then it's like there is a kind of trooper instructions, their existence, and this trippy or the 3 the different instruction teachings you received, then to practice more profound like this. But in the word of my perfect teacher, generally when you are study, just to continue to study, we also to study. And today is like a more visualizations part. Before we are going to visualize, maybe we can to stop 5 minutes to drink cappuccino. Kama nga sel mai su chan thong re. Jonga kor katsu chu che thot. Tu news. Ata chu za to. De yong ni